Yes, y'all. Good morning. You know who it is. It's your boy KG. Go ahead and wipe that crusty stuff out the corner of your eye and let's get down to business. It's showtime. All right, good people. So I was sitting in the apartment and just kind of relaxing a little bit, and then I saw that there was an extended period of sunlight that was just beaming down. So I decided to go on the sunny side of the street and get a little sunlight. And, and as I was kind of walking around enjoying the sun, I was like, hey, now's a good time to do a little stretch series. So I found this place over here up along a fence in the neighborhood, and I'm just using it to kind of help me counterbalance the positions that I'm going to be stretching in. Basically, I'm not doing anything too fancy or, nothing that you haven't seen before. But this is just, it's a way of using my environment to help me progress in my flexibility and progress in my overall fluidity and movement and stuff. Yeah, so, when I came here, that's a long story. I'll tell you guys that later, but I came here packing just the minimum. And it helps you to, put into perspective the things that are really important and, the things that if on a fly you would just take with you if you needed to go somewhere, those things that are most important. If you couldn't take everything, what would you take? That's a question to you all. But anyway, you see me here, you see the cranes in the sky behind me, blue skies. It's a little bit cloudy behind the camera, just a little bit, but not much, you guys. So I was very, very, very excited to get a little bit of sunlight that I could be exposed to. I like to expose my skin and everything to that warmth of that sun. And so what I'm doing here is just squatting, squatting deep and allowing my hips to, just facilitate and go through that movement right there. Yeah, so this is not warmed up. I didn't warm up yet. I decided just to come straight outside and get a good stretch and get some good movement in there. So now I'm just shifting my weight between the left and the right foot, letting the knee kind of collapse inward, toward my midline. And I explained the midline before in the previous videos. And here, just trying to get the tension out of my shoulders and elongating from my rib cage. And now I'm swaying back and forth. My knees are straight in this position, and I'm trying to get the maximum stretch right in the lower back and the upper part of the gluteus maximus, where the back and the glute kind of meet. And now, I just decided to go, a little bit more creative and dig into my other influence so far as capoeira goes, and using those movements to increase range and flexibility. If you have bad knees, there are a number of ways that you can get down to the floor. One being, going into a seated position. If you can support your weight on the arms of a chair, sit down, and then do these same kind of rocking motions from side to side. Now here I have my hips square. I'm balancing them right over my heels, and I'm doing different arm positions while trying to maintain my balance on my feet, on the balls of my feet. And now I'm rocking back and forth, and it might take a little bit more arm strength, you guys, to go down into these positions. But if you're down on the floor, or if you decide to go into a seated position on the floor, all you have to do is just raise your body weight onto those arms behind you. Place your arms behind you, put the weight onto your arms, and obviously your feet are still in contact with the ground. So here I'm just getting a feel for, rocking and balancing my weight between my feet and my hands. You can cross over. I'm just being creative. I'm not doing anything real formal here. It's just for the sake of getting out and getting some movement. If you see anything in this video that you guys might deem useful, go ahead, take it and tell me how it works out. I'm just, being creative here. And like I said, expressing that, that capoeirista that's in me, which it's a big part of me, in addition to the overall martial arts. But yeah. And so if you ever feel like you're a little bit cramped in space, maybe it's due to the fact that you aren't opening your field of vision a little bit. and actually using your local environment to your fullest. So now I'm here. I have my leg placed up on a little fence that, is a perfect station for stretching. And I still have yet to discover some other things that I can do to help gain and isolate the femur, only the femur at the hip, in certain movements when I'm in a cocked leg position for, say, a roundhouse kick or something like this. But this is a perfect station. It actually has little handles on the fence already built in. Whoever, built the fence, put it together, manufactured it, put it together, did it well, and I'm finding more use for it than what it's, used for. I'm finding more use out of it than what it is actually intended for, if that makes any sense. So now, as you can see here, you can see from the bottom of my foot has a tendency to rotate outward when I'm going with my right foot. It rotates outward, and now I'm actually trying to control it or contract it inward. Now I'm going to more of a lateral position to get some stretch in the hip at the femur. So the femur is a bone that runs from the hip socket down to your knee. It's that big thigh bone, the hip thigh, or the thigh bone. Your hip bone connected to your thigh bone. So that's the song that we used to sing. My hip bone connected to my thigh bone connected to my shin bone. So, it's like a kind of a thing. So you want to make sure that you get good rotation at that hip bone down to the thigh bone, guys. From the hip socket to the thigh bone, rather. And so I switched over to the other foot already. I'm on to the left foot. I'm noticing that my level of flexibility at the hip is increasing so much. It's increased since I, really started treating stretching as its own practice, not as a supplement to the martial arts or supplement to dance, but just as its own practice. Yeah, see that? I'm able to lift that leg up there pretty easy. Now, I'm just taking it down and doing some what we call hole back and forth, hole. And this is one of my most favorite moves in capoeira. I really like it. And it's a way to get good exercise using simple things that you may already be using throughout the course of your day or in your leisure time or in certain hobbies. Even if it's a batter's swing, practice that swing. Get out. There's no reason why you have to be confined into the house. Or if you are, find a creative way to get a good workout in and get some movement in, guys. It's great for health. Yo, what up, family? What's happening, y'all? I just want to thank you guys and let you know that I appreciate you if you've actually watched the video in its entirety. And just out here, just being creative. I'm in London town, man, West Kensington. And though there are not very many wide open spaces, there is always some space to do something. If you guys want to make improvements on your flexibility, if you want to make improvements on your overall health and wellness, just look around in your local neighborhood, and there's space. Space is abundant, but if you're not looking in the right places, then it's hard to find it. So just open your mind and allow yourself to adapt to a changing situation, or if you're already in that situation, just allow yourself time. Maintain a positive mind state always, and if you can find just a nice open space to where you can get direct sunlight, go ahead and get that sunlight, because all of these elements are very, very integral to overall health and wellness, guys. So thank you so much for joining me for this stretch video. Your boy KG is out. Yeah.